because he told me, no, Faith, I know there has been so many things going on, but I need you to stay strong for the boys, and that we will walk through this journey together, because COVID was still there. There's lockdown, there's everything. We still have a new baby, we still have to take him to the hospital, we still have to go to clinics. So hey guys, how are you? Welcome back to our YouTube channel, the Kasius. My name is Faith. Yeah, so I've just been around, and then I came across, I've just been arranging my things, and then I came around this book, Becoming by Michelle. Why this story comes from this book, it's because it has reminded me of my life experience back 2 years during COVID-19. Yeah, so in 2019, so this is a story time video. I hope you enjoy. Yes, so it was 2019. My husband got a job outside the country in Rwanda, so he moved to Rwanda, and then later we joined him. Yeah, that's after I discovered that I was pregnant. So I said I wasn't going to walk this pregnancy journey alone, so I needed just to be with him and be closer to him, because I wasn't going to do that alone. Yeah, so we relocated, we all moved to Rwanda. So we moved to Rwanda in September, and the next year, which was 2020, it's when COVID-19 hit the country. I bet it was one of the worst experiences that I've ever gone through. Yeah, so when I remember it, it really makes me so emotional, so sorry for that. Yeah, so it's in 2020, everything is going on well. COVID-19 hits the world. Yeah, it was in China, and all we could see was in CNN, and this is happening, and then all of a sudden it's in Africa, it's in Kenya, and now it's in Rwanda. And bear you in mind, I'm pregnant. Yeah, I was expecting my baby in June that year, in May that year. So it was one of the hardest time, because I was fearing for my baby, I was fearing for my life. There came lockdown. We are in a foreign country. Then all of a sudden we are wearing masks. I remember it was hard for me to breathe first without the mask, and then now you are told to wear a mask. You know how it is very hard for a pregnant woman to breathe. And there is always that you feel that there is no enough air around you, and that you want more and more and more, and now you have to wear a mask above all that. So it was really hard for me, so I rarely left home, and then there came total lockdown, so we were just at home. Yeah, even going to clinic was just a nightmare. I remember we could just, if it's a clinic, we plan early, we call the doctor, and then so that we know the time that we are supposed to see the doctor, and then we just go in like we did not want to be outside, because I'm pregnant and I'm so vulnerable. Like, it was bad. Yeah, so, and mind you, I'm in a foreign country, and I'm supposed to come back to give birth in my country, but the planes everywhere is locked, all the airports are locked, so I can't travel back home. It was bad. So we had to come to terms with the fact that I was going to give birth in Rwanda, in a foreign country. Yes, now that was the bitter truth that I had to accept. Yeah, and I was okay with it, but I feared about what will be the child be, birth certificate, what will it be, and all that. So during all this time, I used to read this book. It really kept me going when my hubby was at work. Yeah, I could read my book, and it really motivated me and helped me move by. And there is another book that but I think this was the major one that I read during my pregnancy time up to the end, because I remember by the time I was going to give her, they had finished reading it, because I was reading bit by bit. Yeah, so there was also a problem of shopping the baby stuffs, because everywhere was locked. There were no shops that were opened, and I could literally look online. There were no deliveries. Like, it was so bad. So, and then in Rwanda, it was very, very strict. You could not walk out. Like, if there is lockdown, it's serious lockdown, and you can't move, and you have to move, you have to get a police clearance that you want to go out and do this and this and this. And again, there were no stores that were open. Yeah, so even if I said I wanted to go and buy baby's clothes, like, there is nowhere I could go. So it was very funny. So I could send my hubby when he has duty. Yeah, because they used to report to work sometimes, so I could send him when he's going to office. He check whether there is a shop opened, and then one time he found a shop that was opened, and then that's how I got a contact of a shop. And then now it's from that shop that we needed what we got, what was really necessary for the baby. Yeah, because we did not know for how long the lockdown was going to happen. But lucky enough, by the time it was May, there was the total lockdown was uplifted, and people were moving around, although with limited and curfew, and yeah. But at least some shops were open, and now I could shop some few things that I really needed, because I was almost due. I remember I could chat my friends, I could talk with my friends back in Kenya, and one was telling me, consider having a midwife to help you give birth. And I was like, how now? How do I get a midwife to help me give birth? Like, at home, how will it happen? Like, I could not believe. Sometimes I could think about it. Sorry for that. So with all that, I really wondered how my baby would survive in such times and such environment, COVID-19. So at some point, I felt like the baby was better inside me than him coming outside. Yeah, so I wished that the baby could stay inside. At least I was able to protect him while in me. But then time came and the baby had to come out. Yeah, and I could not extend the time because the baby was due. So we booked for the clinic, and I went for my CS session. I was with my hubby all the time. We stayed together in the hospital for, I think it was 4 days. And then the last day, when we were still at the hospital and we were not yet released, we saw those things that we used to call them those COVID kits. We saw people wearing COVID kits. Of course, we were living in a 1-bedroom hospital room. So we saw from the window, we saw some COVID guys from downstairs. They were spraying and spraying. So we were like, could this be a COVID-19 center? And that's when we decided that we needed to go home. Like, we were so, like we said, we need to be discharged. There is nothing that the baby was okay, so we needed just to go home. So it was time. We went back home with our beautiful baby boy. He was very healthy. Yeah, so we walked outside the hospital, and that's when the reality hit me. The baby is breathing the COVID-19 air. Like, I can't now wear a mask on his behalf. The baby can't wear a mask. You can't cover the baby through. He will not be able to breathe. Yeah, and I had it was bad. Yeah, so we went home. So I kept my baby in the house, and I could not go outside. It was even feared taking him just to sunbask. Yeah, although there were not many people where we lived, but I felt like the hair had COVID and I needed to protect my little baby. Yeah, so the COVID-19 continued, the lockdown continued. In clinic times, it was nightmare. Because we could go, I stay in the car, my hubby goes, books the baby. And then now when the baby is cold is when I could come from the car, like running literally and covering my baby. And then I became too personal to anyone who was not, an adult who was not wearing a mask. Because I was like, why do you want to infect the small babies? Why are you not wearing a mask and you are an adult and you know we can't put on mask for the babies? I was very personal on any adult who was not wearing a mask. Like, I was too pissed off. Like, it was so bad for me because I felt like this person wants to infect my baby. Yeah, so fast forward, we coped with all that, and at some point, I think it was really on me because now I'm in a foreign country. There's lockdown. You told that even if your people die, you can't go for burial. I'm in a foreign country. Nobody's coming to visit me. I have a newborn. My hubby is going to work. It was too much for me. And I think I got depressed. Yeah. I think I got depressed, and now I no longer wanted to be in Rwanda. I wanted to come back home. I felt like I was alone. I felt like I did not have my people. All of a sudden, I started missing my mom. The things that come with childbirth, they are just so crazy. Yeah, so I could cry. I want to go back home. I want to go see my mom. Because you have given birth and nobody's there, nobody's coming to see you, nobody's talking to you, you don't have even friends in a foreign country, it's just you. You wake up in the morning, you stay with your house help and my little boy, because I have another boy who is bigger. Yeah, so I'm just waiting for my hubby to come back home. Like, I was looking forward for him to come back home. So whenever he came home a little bit late, it was too much for me, like I could not bear. So they announced that the airport lockdown was going to be uplifted and first flights were going to start flying. And that's when I told my hubby that I'm going back home. Like, I was not ready to stay in Rwanda anymore. I needed to be home. I needed to see my family. I needed to have people who I know, my friends around me. Yeah. And my hubby had to resign. Yeah, because I could not bear it. Like, I could not take it anymore. I just needed to be home. And my baby then, because I gave birth in May, and the uplifting was done in August, so my baby was 3 months old. So there were first flights that were leaving in 1st August that year, 2020. They were the first flights. We had to book that flight, and we are coming back home, and this time for good, because I wasn't going back to Rwanda with COVID-19. No, and with a newborn. No, I wasn't going to do that. Yeah, so my hubby had to resign. So he resigned, and we booked our tickets back home. Yeah, so we came back home. Macu, we don't have a house. We don't have anything, like as we had left. So we closed our house. We had nothing like house. So in Nairobi, and we did not have anywhere, so we booked a Airbnb where we came and stayed for some, I think, a week or two. As we organized our home, we bought few things. There was still lockdown. I have a newborn. I have not seen my people, are not even visiting each other like as we came with a plane, and now everyone thinks that we have COVID since we passed through airport. Reality now hit me. I thought I was coming home to my people and to everyone, only to realize that I was coming home to continue being alone. Yes. When I left Kenya, everything was so nice everywhere. So I expected same life, only to come back and find out where things changed. Everybody stay at their home. Everywhere is closed. I could not eat. I ordered things that I could order online. I ordered curtains, mattress, whatever was essential for us to start a home. Yeah, so I kept on ordering. So we moved to a place. And when we moved to that place, 2 weeks later, my bigger son got hit by a car at the playground inside the estate. Apparently, some young boy and taken his parents' car, and he was drunk. I think he was around 18. So where kids were playing football, he passed in at the middle of them with a very high-speed car. So I had a bang when I was inside the house. I had a bang, and it was around 6 that it was slowly getting late. Macu, I have my 3-year-old and my 3 months old in the house, and lucky enough that time I was with my niece. So I had a bang, and then I looked at the window. I saw kids running, and a car had hit a wall. I looked at the car. I saw the one who was driving coming out, and I was like, oh, nobody has been hurt. But I looked for my son to see if I will see him running. I did not see him, and I got tensed. So when I tensed, I walked to the sitting, because I was in the bedroom. I walked to the sitting room and wished that I will find him there. Like I will find him, he has already returned to the house, but I did not find him. I got tensed. I tensed more. I took my phone and ran outside. I went downstairs, and by the time I was around about to finish the stairs, I met my son being carried like this by bigger boys. He had been hit. had no energy. I took them to carry him to a chemistry that was just inside the estate. He had been hit on his head, so it had started to ilikuwa imefura, so I just checked on they checked on him, and that lady told me, no, go to the hospital. Makiu, I have a newborn. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm tensed. I'm trying to call a Uber. I don't know how to do it. So I called my husband. I told him, Rahul has been hit by a car. And then I was like, no. Rahul has got an accident and he's okay. So my husband akashtuka akaniuliza, what are you saying? Mbia Rahul, kuna gari imemgonga na ako hapa ameumia. And I cut off the phone. His socks were torn, his shoes had come out. It was hit by the side, and then he rolled on the cabro, so the socks were torn, the shoes came out. So I was wondering, what has happened? Why are socks so much torn? And he did not have shoes. So I think a guy saw how confused I was. He went, got his car. He reversed his car, came, took the kid, put him in the car, and then I entered in the car. Then we were taken to the hospital. We live near Shalom. So we went to Shalom Hospital. He was received. By this time, he had stopped crying and he just wanted to sleep. So I was preventing him from sleeping. His head was becoming bigger and bigger. So the doctor put in him an emergency. He was checked. They gave him some medicine. He was, I don't know what they were doing. This time when we were just there, my husband came. He came to the hospital. So the kid was scanned. They said his head had cracked, so we needed to go to Kenyatta. So we were referred to Kenyatta Hospital. Makiu, I have a new baby back at home, 3 months, who is not feeding on anything. He's not even having water. I had not stored any milk because I was a full-time mom. I was just at home. It's now around 2. It happened at 6 p.m. And now we are being told to go to Kenyatta. So I told my husband that now he has to go with the baby and that me, I go back home and check on the other one. Because my niece was even, if she was in school, she did not even know how to take care of small babies. So she was, but I believe she was just too good with the baby. So we came home. We were given a letter to go to Kenyatta. So we came home. Me, I was left. And then they went to Kenyatta. It was one of the hardest times because I needed to know how he's doing. I needed to know what is the doctor saying. I just needed to be there with him, and now I can't. I'm at home with a newborn. I can't be with him. I'm not sure whether my husband is telling me the truth. So they stayed in the hospital the whole day. Then later at night, they came back. Apparently my son had been checked. They did a scan on his head. They said he had a crack, but it was not a threat. So they gave him medication and some that will heal his head and all that. So he came back home, and now all he could do was talk. He could not talk much. He could just sleep. I wake him up, he feeds, he sleeps again. My son was jumpy and playful. He was not doing it anymore. He was just sleeping, waking up, taking medicine, and going back to sleep. And that's when now Maki, who have come from Rwanda, I've never met none of my family. It's been like 2 weeks. That's when now my sisters came to visit me. Yeah, now they had to come because the situation was really, really bad. That's why they came. At least I had a chance to see them, talk a little, although it was such a sad moment. We had not seen each other, I think, it was like a year and something. But at least I was happy to see them. Sorry about all this. The whole story really makes me so emotional. So I now had 2 babies to take care of, but a good thing is that my husband was not working. He was just at home, so we could do that together. We had a newborn and the other one who is not well. So we stayed with the baby, and I think like 1 month after he was done with his medication, we took him back to Kenyatta Hospital. And then he was cleared. We were told that he was okay, although he had not gone back to himself, that cheerful and jumpy baby. He was so reserved. He could not talk much as he used to, and I was really wondering, will my baby come back to be the boy that I knew? The boy was jumpy, talkative, joking, because he was really different. But I really hoped for the best. So during all this time, I think I also got really depressed with all these events and situations. And I started fearing for myself. Like, it got worse. I feared to be left alone at home. I feared to hold a knife. I feared to wash the baby. I felt like I could hurt the baby. And that when it hit me that I was depressed, like everything was not okay. And then I feared to talk about it because what will people think of me? What will my hubby think of me? Am I exaggerating? It's okay. Is it okay to talk about? Can I tell him? Like, I was really confused on what to do. But then I felt like, no, it was getting out of hand because I was even scared of my own baby. I was scared to cook. I did not want to wash him. I needed to have someone at home with. I felt like I could not handle any situation alone. Like I felt like I was very weak, and there's no any situation that I couldn't handle alone. So I just needed to have an adult with me, not a child, an adult with me to keep me on check. So one morning I felt like, no, this is not okay. I felt like, no, it was not normal. So I told my husband what I was feeling, how I was feeling, and I thank God for my hubby. He took that thing so serious that it even scared me. He took it so serious. He talked to me. He told me not to worry. Like, he kept me on check. And that was a turning point. And when I told him, I felt like I'll leave. And how he took it, it was so encouraging for me, because he told me, no, Faith, I know there has been so many things going on, but I need you to stay strong for the boys, and that we will walk through this journey together, because COVID was still there. There's lockdown, there's everything. We still have a new baby. We still have to take him to the hospital. We still have to go to clinics. So he held me together. He talked to me. He could talk to me every time. He encouraged me. And I think if you have some mental health, talking to someone that really cares about you, or who will really listen to you, I think that's the only therapy. Because when I talked to him, in 2-3 days I started feeling better, because he could encourage me every day, every morning, every night. Anytime he could talk me about it, encourage me in so many ways. And then he was there for me now full time. He could not go. He was staying with me and the babies. Yeah, so, and I think with time it disappeared, and I was back to myself. Yeah, I was all back to myself. Yeah, and I started feeling better, and the fears that I had, they all went off. So thank you very much, Alex, for that. I really appreciate. I do not take it for granted. Yeah, and I love you so much. So guys, that is my very, very emotional story. Although we later came to get COVID, like last year December, we all got COVID, even the small baby. But by then it was around 1 year, yeah. And we all walked through. Yeah, it was heavy on him though, the small baby. But with medication and the supplements and all that, we all sailed through, because we all had it. Yeah, so we sailed through it. And today when I see my son, he's now 2 years and some months, and imagine the things that I went through, that the COVID-19 now is there, I usually thank God for everything. And one thing I learned from all this story is be closer to your loved ones. In bad times, they are the only people who will be there for you no matter what. Love your family. Create time for your family. Ask them how they are doing. Like, take time and know how your people are doing. How are they really doing? Are they doing good? Just seek from them. Don't just assume everyone is okay. Even when the people that you wake up with, you sleep with, your kids, talk to them, know how they are doing. try to find out if their life is going on okay, because you might find someone is going through a lot and maybe they are scared to talk about it, or they don't think it's something serious to talk about, and by the time they know it, it's out of hand. Yeah, and it's irreversible. Yeah, so just check on your loved ones, check on your sisters, check on your brothers, your hubby, your wife. Don't assume. Check on your kids. Find out how they are doing. Yeah, from that day I learned to check on my people. I always check on my husband. Is he really doing good? Is everything okay? Are my kids okay? Is there anything that is bothering them? Yeah, and it really made me learn a lot. Yeah, because family, it's always everything. Because when all these were going on, it's only my family that was with me, and with all those that happened, they were there for me despite everything. So it's really, the ending is good. I thank God for everything, and today I smile and be happy about everything. Look back and thank God for that journey, because I did not know whether today I will be here with my boy, with all that COVID and the one being hit by the car, and today he's back to who he was, the boy that I knew. And I'm so happy and grateful to God. Yeah, so that has been my story. And if you have not read this book, you can read it. It's Michelle Obama's lifetime journey of becoming who she is. It's really encouraging book. You can read it. Yeah, I was bought this book. It's my hubby or gifted me as a present, and I think it has really helped me. I think it was one of the best presents that I've ever received from him. I plan to read it again, and then once I'm done, I'll give it to someone who wants to read it, and I believe it will encourage you. Yeah, and see also all things are possible, because it's Michelle's journey, and it's from a very humble background to who she is today. So anyone can make it in life. You just need to believe in yourself, believe in your journey, and trust the process, and then believe in God. Yeah, and seek his revelation and his guidance in what you do. So thank you guys for watching. That was an emotional story. Whenever I talk about that story, I cannot hold back my tears because it wasn't good. But I'm so happy, and thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and join the family. So to me, I hope I've encouraged someone who is going through hard times, that at time all this will be at the back, and you will look back and say thank you, Lord, for the things, for walking me through that very dark moment to the light, and be happy. So thank you, and bye. See you on the next video.